Flamme Rouge has 2 to 4 cyclists racing around different tracks in order to win. Stronghold Games provided this in exchange for an honest review. I'm going to use the recommended starting stage, Avenue Corso Paseo. There are 6 stage cards included that show you the pieces needed to create the layout. Each player chooses a color. Take the matching player board, 2 cyclist minis, and decks, Sprinter and Rouleur. Shuffle each deck, then place them on your board in the indicated spaces. Place the exhaustion decks within reach. I'll explain how they work soon. Track tiles have squares, and each square has a left and right lane. Determine the starting player. They place their 2 cyclists, then continue in clockwise order. In this game, the cyclist in the right-hand lane leads, so keep that in mind. In the energy phase, players simultaneously choose 1 deck, draw 4 cards, play 1 face down in front of you, and place the remaining 3 cards face up at the bottom of your deck. Repeat this for the other deck. Once everyone has played their 2 cards, everyone reveals. Beginning with the lead cyclist, resolve each card. Cyclists can move through others, but cannot finish in the same lane as another. If a square is full, movement ends in the first available lane behind the target. Once all cyclists have been resolved, remove played cards from the game. Now check for slipstreaming. Starting at the back of the pack, move cyclists forward if there is precisely 1 empty square between them and the cyclist ahead of them. In some cases, every cyclist but the front runners might move up. Any cyclist with an empty square in front of them takes an exhaustion card. These have a maximum energy of 2. You're not going to be moving very far when you're exhausted. Eventually, you'll see those face-up cards in your deck. Shuffle, then keep playing. If you ever run out of cards, you'll be limited to exhaustion cards for the rest of the race. Plan smart. There are some additional rules, plus course rules that add mountains for a greater challenge, and even some rules to simplify things for beginners. In general, though, this is how you play. Plan your movement by playing cards, manage energy to minimize exhaustion, and finish ahead of the pack. That's Flamme Rouge. Save Flamme Rouge for dining tables. The stages can spread out quite a bit, and then you have placemat-sized player areas. There's no reading or real math, but you need to keep track of your exhaustion cards, manage your deck, and predict your opponent's moves. It's not complex at all, though. I think the box is right. An 8-year-old with gaming experience could handle this. Once you know what you're doing, games can be set up, played, and taken down in 45 minutes. In our 4th game of Flamme Rouge, Dad immediately spent his high cards to blast ahead. He was on the first corner when we were barely past the start. Later, he said it was because of the layout. There were a lot of mountains, so he wanted to use his big cards when they wouldn't go to waste. Anyhow, I eventually caught up and Mom was on my tail. She got stuck in the pack, and Dad and I raced on towards the second mountain. While he mostly had 4s and 5s left, I had a 7. My Rouleur sped through the finish line, and Dad fell 1 lane short. Flamme Rouge's slipstreaming is really smart, and using it is critical if you want to win. Risking letting others pass so they earn exhaustion cards while you try to keep up with the pack, it's incredibly exciting. I love the way mountains are implemented. Going up, you can't move further than 5, so don't waste those good energy cards, and you can't slipstream. Going down means every card is a minimum of 5. Yes, even those exhaustion cards. And slipstreaming is in effect. Your success depends on how you do in the mountains. Brilliant and realistic. Honestly, things are tense the moment you have to decide where you want your cyclists to start. In many of our games, the first bit of the race is kind of like, okay, I'm planning for the future. Suddenly, it's like, it's the end already? I really like that. The modular track tiles mean you can make loads of real bicycle stages and then make endless designs of your own. We have a poster showing hundreds of famous racetracks. I'd like to try recreating some of those. The minis are pretty easy to tell apart, and the art is cool and thematic. The graphic design is clean and minimalistic and works very well. Flamme Rouge is a tense, fast, and fun game. There's a lot of luck, especially early when you have full decks and there's not a lot of mitigation. Keep all of that in mind. If you prefer thinkier games where your moves can't be ruined by an opponent, skip this. If you're looking for a game that can be taught to young/new/casual gamers, but offers plenty to think about for experienced gamers as well, you should definitely check this one out. I think it's fantastic. For racing fans looking for something heavier with more strategy, I still think Race Formula 90 is my favorite racing game. It was one I reviewed a long time ago, but my feelings haven't changed. I've added a link to that review at the end of this one.